Wait, hold on, pause whatever you're doing for a second, because I need you to look at this list with me. Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, Selena Gomez. 3 of the biggest names on the entire planet, sitting at the very top of Instagram's most powerful accounts. Now guess who's sitting right below them? Go on, guess. Because I promise you, the answer is not who you think it is, and once I tell you, you are going to understand exactly why this exploded online in just a matter of hours. This is brand new. This is still breaking. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand why fan accounts everywhere are completely losing their minds right now. Let's set the scene first, because context matters here more than you think. Instagram right now has over 2 billion active users. 2 billion. Think about every celebrity you know, every athlete, every actor, every musician, every business mogul, every single one of them fighting for attention on the exact same platform, all trying to climb the same invisible ladder of influence. Now imagine being ranked in the top 5 of all of them. Not top 5 in your category. Not top 5 musicians. Not top 5 Asian celebrities. Top 5 human beings on planet Earth out of 2 billion accounts. That is the level we are talking about today. And the person who just did it is BTS member Jimin. As of August 20th, 2026, brand new data dropped from Hype Auditor. And before you roll your eyes thinking this is some random fan-made list, let me stop you right there, because Hype Auditor is not a joke platform. This is a legitimate AI-powered analytics company that brands, marketing agencies, and companies actually pay to use. Their entire business model is analyzing real audience quality, catching fake followers, catching bot engagement, and figuring out who is actually influential versus who just looks influential on paper. This is the platform serious marketing teams turn to before they decide who gets a sponsorship deal worth millions of dollars. So when Hype Auditor puts out a global ranking, people in the industry actually pay attention. And their newest data just placed Jimin at number 4 globally. 4th, out of every single Instagram account that exists. Now let's actually break down the numbers, because this is where it gets wild. Jimin currently sits at 59.9 million followers. On its own, that is already a massive number, but followers alone don't mean anything anymore, right? Anyone can buy followers. Anyone can inflate that number artificially. What actually matters, what separates real influence from fake influence, is engagement. And this is where Jimin completely breaks the scale. His average post pulls in 7.4 million likes. 7.4 million on a single post. But here's the number that made me stop and rewatch the data twice just to make sure I was reading it correctly. His engagement rate sits at 13.98%. If you don't know social media metrics, let me translate that for you in plain terms. Once an account crosses 10 million followers, engagement rates almost always crash. It's just how the algorithm and human attention work. Most massive accounts at this size are lucky to hit 1 or 2% engagement. Some celebrities with tens of millions of followers are sitting at 0.5%. That's the brutal reality of scale on social media. The bigger you get, the more your audience becomes passive scrollers instead of active engagers. So an account with 60 million followers pulling in almost 14% engagement isn't just good. It is statistically abnormal. It is the kind of number that makes data analysts do a double take. Fans online have already started calling it the Jimin effect because honestly, there isn't really another explanation that makes sense. But here's where the story goes from impressive to absolutely unbelievable, because when you zoom in and look country by country instead of just the global number, Jimin isn't just doing well, he's dominating outright. In the United Kingdom, he is ranked the number 1 Instagram influencer in the entire country. Not top 5, not top 3. Number 1, ahead of every British celebrity, every UK-based influencer, everyone. In South Korea, unsurprisingly his home country, he's also sitting at number 1. But then it gets even crazier when you look outside of Asia and Europe. In Brazil, a country absolutely obsessed with football, with celebrity culture, with some of the most passionate social media users on the planet, Jimin is ranked number 1. And in Mexico, same story again, sitting right at the very top of the entire country's Instagram influence rankings. Now stop and actually think about what that means. For completely different countries, for completely different cultures, for completely different languages, for completely different sets of interests and celebrities that people in those countries typically follow. And somehow, in every single one of them, Jimin comes out on top. This isn't a regional trend. This isn't a K-pop bubble contained to Asia. This is genuinely global, cross-cultural dominance, and that almost never happens organically like this. And now here's the part of the story that is honestly sending fans into a complete frenzy. Because when you look at exactly who Jimin is ranked alongside on these lists, the names are absolutely insane. In the United States rankings, right at the very top, you've got Cristiano Ronaldo, arguably the most followed athlete on the entire planet. Right below him, Lionel Messi, the other half of the greatest footballing rivalry in modern history. Right below Messi, Selena Gomez, one of the most powerful and most followed women in all of Hollywood and music combined. And then, sitting right there in that exact same lineup in fourth place is Jimin. Same list, same country, same platform. A member of a K-pop group from South Korea sharing space with two of the greatest athletes who have ever lived and one of the biggest pop stars in America. And it's not a one-time fluke either, because the exact same pattern repeats in Brazil. Ronaldo, Messi, Selena Gomez, and then Jimin fourth place again. Think about how statistically unlikely that is to happen by accident. This isn't luck. This isn't some algorithm glitch. This is sustained, consistent, real engagement across multiple countries, putting Jimin in direct competition with some of the most famous human beings alive today. So what exactly has Hype Auditor's data officially crowned him with? Because it's not just a single ranking, there's actually a whole list of titles attached to this data, and each one is more impressive than the last. He is officially recognized as the most influential Asian person on all of Instagram. Not the most influential Asian idol. Not the most influential Asian musician. The most influential Asian person, period, beating out actors, business leaders, athletes, everyone across an entire continent's worth of massive celebrities. On top of that, he's ranked as the most influential male singer in the world right now. He's the third most influential singer overall when you include every gender. He's the second most influential singer when the criteria widens even further. And again, at the very top of it all, fourth most influential person across the entire platform. These aren't fan-created titles made up for hype. These are calculated rankings pulled directly from real engagement data. Now here's the question you're probably already asking yourself, because I asked myself the exact same thing when I first saw this. How is this even possible? How does someone reach this level without doing the things that typical top-ranked influencers do to maintain their spot? Because if you actually look at Jimin's posting history, he does not post nearly as often as most accounts sitting at this level. A lot of top-tier influencers are posting constantly, sometimes multiple times a day, feeding content to the algorithm nonstop just to stay visible. Jimin has historically posted far less frequently than that. On top of that, his account has dealt with real restrictions and platform issues in the past, the kind of setbacks that would typically tank momentum for most influencers permanently. And yet here he is, outranking people who post daily, with an engagement rate that dwarfs almost every single account above him on the list. And that, right there, is exactly why fans are calling this proof of something rare in today's social media landscape: genuine organic connection. Not manufactured hype. Not bought engagement. Not coordinated engagement pods designed to trick the algorithm. Just real fans showing up every single time without fail, no matter how often or how rarely he actually posts. And this entire story didn't even start from some official announcement. That's honestly what makes it even more fascinating. This wasn't a press release from his label. This wasn't a paid marketing campaign designed to push the numbers into headlines. This exploded because of fans. Regular fan accounts on social media started translating the raw data, screenshotting the charts straight from Hype Auditor's platform, and spreading it country by country, language by language. One fan account translating from Spanish posted about him entering the global top 5, and within hours it had racked up thousands of shares and reactions. A Korean fan account broke down every single title tied to the ranking in detail, and that post alone pulled in over 7,000 engagements almost instantly. A Brazilian fan account pointed directly at the fact that he's sitting in the same rankings as Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, and Selena Gomez, calling it an absurd reach that proves real strength and influence. None of this was manufactured. None of this was planned out by a PR team. This was pure, organic, real-time reaction from people who genuinely could not believe the numbers they were staring at either. And if you step back for a second and actually think about the bigger picture here, this story is about more than just one great week for one artist. This is proof that even in 2026, in a digital landscape completely dominated by paid promotions, influencer marketing deals, growth hacking strategies, and content calendars built entirely around beating the algorithm, real organic connection with an audience can still beat all of that combined. Jimin isn't buying his way onto this list. There's no evidence of ad spend pushing these numbers. He is simply showing up as himself, and an audience that has stayed loyal for years is responding in a way the data physically cannot fake. 13.98% engagement at almost 60 million followers is not something a marketing budget manufactures. That number only exists when millions of real people genuinely care enough to stop scrolling and actually engage every single time. So now the obvious question becomes, what happens next? Because if Jimin can already hit 4th place globally while posting less frequently than almost everyone else near the top of this list, what happens if that posting frequency increases? What happens during his next comeback, his next tour, his next major career move? Fans are already speculating this ranking could climb even higher in the coming months, and based on everything we just walked through, that speculation genuinely doesn't sound unreasonable at all. We are watching, in real time, one of the biggest organic social media influence stories of the entire year unfold, and it's happening to an artist a lot of people underestimated when it came to solo digital dominance outside of his group. If you're completely new here and have no idea who Jimin even is, here's the short version. He's a member of BTS, one of the most successful music groups in modern history, a group that has already broken chart records, streaming records, and now apparently global influence records too. And what this new ranking proves is that even years into an already massive career, even after everything that comes with being one of the most watched celebrities alive, his connection with fans hasn't weakened at all. If anything, based on what we just went through today, it looks like it might actually be getting stronger than ever. So tell me honestly in the comments, were you shocked seeing this ranking? Or did you already suspect his engagement numbers were on a completely different level compared to everyone else on this platform? Did you know he was outranking Selena Gomez in multiple countries before watching this? And more importantly, do you think this climbs even higher from here? Or do you think he's already hit his absolute peak? Drop your thoughts below because I genuinely want to hear what all of you think about this. And if this breakdown blew your mind even a little bit, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, because with numbers moving like this, I promise you there is going to be a whole lot more to unpack very soon. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.